All right, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Long Island Real Estate with me, Scatalano. I'm trying a new thing, just setting the camera up in the car and chatting, seeing if I could come up, seeing if anything insightful comes out of it. Quite frankly, I got a new camera, so I wanted to play with it a little bit, but maybe this will become a thing. I guess what I wanted to talk about buyers today. Mostly, I was listening to the Brian Buffini podcast a couple days ago, and it got me thinking. He mentioned there's this famous, I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but there's this quote by the famous college basketball coach, John Wooden, and that's that when opportunity strikes, it's too late to prepare. And that really struck me, and I really think it applies to real estate because, look, there's a lot of perceptions out there, misconceptions, whatever it may be. What does an agent even do for a buyer? All they are door openers, all that type of stuff. And look, I get it. I do. But if I'm being honest, I think a good portion of my job is done well before I ever even open any doors. And that's because I think getting together beforehand, whether it's in person or over Zoom, over the phone, whatever it may be, whatever works for everybody, and finding out what the client's needs are, what their budget is, what's realistic for them, their timeline, and then going through the buying process step by step, giving them time to ask any questions that they have about each step, circling back if there's anything that they need to be reinforced, all of that, to set a plan and set them up for success so that they know when they go out there, when we start this home buying adventure, they know what to expect, and they to at least as much as they can. And so that when opportunity does strike, we are prepared to jump on it. And that I feel is super important. Super important. So I feel like that's really set my buyers up on a path where, like I said, that they can be successful. And I think that's huge. So it's weird, even when in my market, it's calmed down a little bit, but we still, on prices that are hot, priced right, all that, we still see bidding wars, we still see things like that. So even preparing them for, hey, this might happen and we need to be prepared to know our limits, and we need to know the importance of terms, and that how to win a property without necessarily having the highest offer, and all of that type of stuff, so that when I start bringing it up, the worst thing in the world is for you to get a phone call that there's a gap in an appraisal, and then you have to call your buyers and see what they wanted to do. And the call starts off with, well, what does a gap in an appraisal mean? Or what's an appraisal? So, whereas it's okay, listen, we had talked about it, and unfortunately there is a gap in an appraisal, so whatever goes from there. Different buyers are going to have different avenues that they can go from there, whether it be walk away, cover the gap, negotiate halfway, whatever it might be. But the point is, if you get to that point and they're completely blindsided by it, it's going to be a completely different experience and have different emotions involved and everything like that than it would be if you're prepared. And that goes for literally anything. It goes for an inspection. What are we looking for? What's important? What are they going to find that's not important? What do we think we could negotiate if there is room to negotiate? All of that type of stuff is, again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, probably because I am, and I'm just rambling a little bit, but I guess the key is just that preparation is important, and that's what separates, I guess, a quote-unquote good agent from the rest, is properly preparing your client for what they do when they find the property. Because look, I have access to the MLS, I have things that might be off-market, office exclusives, all that type of stuff, so I can find things that they might not be able to, but on the same note, a lot of houses come online and they get the alert at the same time that I do. So I don't feel like finding the house, unless people have very, very specific needs or areas or anything like that, is as important of a part of the job as it might seem on the outside, unless somebody does have those kind of specific things. In which case, then again, what is your agent going to do? Are they going to go the extra mile? Are they going to find houses in the area that fit what you want and door knock and see if the client, see if those people are interested in hearing you out? Are they going to send out mailers to the area? Are they going to reach out to local agents in that area to see if there's anything off market that we might not know about? So those are the things, like opening the doors, getting into it. You can go to an open house. And sure, it does help having your agent at the open house, and I certainly recommend that. And I try and go to open houses with my clients. I prefer to be there. But on the same note, you can go to an open house and you can find a house. It's, again, what do you do when that opportunity strikes? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you know what? Now what? I'll put an offer in on this house. What do I do? Is your pre-approval already? Is it updated? Is your agent going to reach out to the other agent, see if there's any terms that are more important? I've had multiple deals that I've won for my clients that they weren't the highest offer, and they were either able to move the quickest, or they were the most malleable with time frame, or whatever it may be. It's finding out what's important to the seller and finding out if that is something that your buyer is willing to sacrifice on in order to get the house. It might not even be something they care about. It might even be something that works out to their benefit. Oh, the seller needs more time? Great, so do I. Gives me a little bit more time to move, or my lease doesn't expire until X. So that's the things, that's what separates, and that's not even getting into, that's just kind of knowing the processes and what to do in the situation. But then it's just knowing the market and having somebody that follows the market and really dives into the numbers. And not only that, is out there in it as well, living it, looking at the houses, seeing what's out there. And anybody who's been following me for a while now, it's crazy how long I've been doing these YouTube videos. You know that I am super into the numbers. I am very, very much a numbers junkie, dive into that stuff. It actually annoys me how late into the next month that all those reports and stuff update, but that could be its whole other thing. So I guess that's my whole thing. I was saying maybe some insight will come out of it. I wanted to just talk about buyers, but I guess the insight would be prepared and find an agent that's going to take the time and is capable of preparing you. I guess this is where I CTA, give you that old call to action, because I am a realtor and can't help ourselves, or what would be the point of all this. But I stay in the market. I know the data. I take the time to prepare my clients. I think that's the most important part, as I've said 100 times so far. So if you've taken the time, I don't even know how long this is. It's felt like forever, but if you've taken the time to watch, really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you need help with real estate or anything like that, hit me up. All my information, I'm sure, will be in the comments below. And I'll see you guys on the next time as I ramble on. All right, thanks for watching.